Gavin Lux is finally going to get traded. The latest reports suggest that a team is now highly interested in trading for Gavin Lux. We also get into the latest with Jack Flaherty. The free agent pitcher is drawing interest from across the league, and we'll see what that means for the Dodgers in this edition of Dodgers Digest. Hey, this is Mike Nelson. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank the 28% of the ones who are watching these videos who have already hit the sub button, but 71% of you have not subscribed yet. You know, myself and Brad J, we're bringing you everyday Dodger content. You're not going to find content like this anywhere else. We're the best Dodger channel out there, so make sure to hit the subscribe button. We want to get to 7,000 before the end of month of January. Let's get right into it. Of course, Gavin Lux. That's right, Gavin Lux, a infielder for the Dodgers that has been, I guess you could say, on the trade block, especially now after the Dodgers signed Kim just a couple days ago. There's been speculation that the Dodgers are going to move on from Lux, and now the Yankees have shown trade interest in Gavin Lux. This was just posted on Sports Illustrated, an article that just came out this morning on Gavin Lux. As sources told Yankees on SI, the Yankees have shown some interest in a potential trade for Los Angeles Dodgers second baseman Gavin Lux. Although sources have also said the Yankees have expressed interest in Lux several weeks ago, the Seattle Mariners have been more aggressive in the pursuit of the infield. This is the first time we've really seen the Mariners get involved in this, at least that I've seen in articles posted. Gavin Lux potentially getting traded to the American League. It cannot come as a surprise. Lux makes sense as a trade candidate after the Dodgers recently signed, of course, Kim from the KBO to a 3-year, $22 million deal. That just came out, of course, just on Friday. The Dodgers confirmed as well. So what do you guys think? Comment below. Do you think the Dodgers are going to trade Gavin Lux? If you ask me, I think this is the perfect time to trade Gavin Lux. You know, Gavin Lux is a player just like Walker Buehler, who has spent his entire career with the Dodgers. As we know, the Dodgers moved on from Walker Buehler with him going to the Red Sox. And I think now it is also time to move on from Gavin Lux. Gavin Lux is a player the Dodgers, of course, thought of, they were highly thought of him, of course, a player that was highly regarded out of the minor leagues. He was seen as a potential replacement for Corey Seager when Corey Seager went to the Texas Rangers. And let's not forget, the Dodgers kind of let Seager go because they had Gavin Lux. I mean, I don't see another reason why they would let Corey Seager go. I mean, comment below if you guys think otherwise. But why would the Dodgers let go of Corey Seager, arguably one of the best shortstops they've had in franchise history? Yeah, in franchise history. The Dodgers have had some, good shortstops, but Corey Seager has got to be up there with one of the best they've ever had. And they basically let him walk for nothing, right? He basically walked in free agency and went to the Texas Rangers. And as we know, the rest was kind of history as he won a World Series also with the Rangers. Why would the Dodgers do that? Well, the Dodgers did that because they had Gavin Lux in the wings, right? Gavin Lux was a player that the Dodgers were thinking, this guy is a player that could do everything. He's a great fielder. He can hit. They were thinking this guy was going to be the next big thing, and we know that hasn't happened. Gavin Lux has been somewhat of a disappointment for the Dodgers in the last couple years. Sure, he kind of played well at the second half last couple months and, was a contributor in the playoffs. But throughout his time here, especially the last couple years, Gavin Lux has been a player that has been, like I said, he's been somewhat of a disappointment for them, right? He hasn't really been a player that the Dodgers have really been able to be confident in it that he's going to deliver, right? And now with the Dodgers signing Kim, this absolutely changes everything, at least in my opinion. I mean, I know reports are saying that Kim is going to be a super utility player, a player that's going to play, of course, all across the field and potentially as well in the outfield, which is going to probably take away from a lot of Chris Taylor's playing time. Because that's what Chris Taylor is right now. He's a super utility guy. So, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't really buy that. I think the Dodgers are also trying to shop Gavin Lux around. At least quietly they are. Which, of course they have to do it quietly. It's not like they're going to come out and say we're trying to trade Gavin Lux. But I think the Dodgers have to be shopping Gavin Lux around because this is a perfect time to trade Gavin Lux. The Dodgers just won the World Series. Gavin Lux's value is probably at an all-time high, especially in the last couple years. His value wasn't probably very high after the 23 season, which is probably why the Dodgers didn't trade him after the 23 year. But now after the 24 season, his value has gone up, and that's mainly because he won the World Series, right? And he was part of that team. And I think the Dodgers it would be smart to trade Gavin Lux right now during this offseason. Don't wait another year for Gavin Lux to just be a non-factor in 25. Basically, Kim could potentially take his job, because that's what could happen. Gavin Lux could get off to a bad start in the 2025 season, and who's going to be there to take his job? Well, it's going to be Kim. Kim will take his job, and where does Gavin Lux fit after that, right? And then it's going to be very hard to trade Gavin Lux after that, especially, with a trade deadline or trade or something like that. It's going to be much more difficult to do something then than it would be if they do it right now, and get potentially something back. I know the Dodgers were interested in trying to get Devin Williams. That didn't happen, but there's probably other options, to try to get another relief pitcher. The Tanner Scott thing falls through and they don't get Tanner Scott. The Dodgers might become more aggressive in trying to trade Lux to try to get a reliever, right? Because the Dodgers are trying to get one more reliever. I think that's something that they're very, very strong about at this time. Something that they're very, they really want to do that right now, right? They really want to try to get another reliever for the bullpen. Despite having the best bullpen in Major League Baseball last year, they are afraid of injuries, right? And it's something that is something of importance for the Dodgers offseason, to try to get a star reliever. And then, of course, the signing of Roki Sasaki. That's the other, thing on their wish list for sure, to try to sign Sasaki as we know in the next few days. Now, talking about Sasaki, this has to do with the next player I'm going to mention, and that's Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty is now drawing interest from 5 different teams. This is from Ken Rosenthal. Jack Flaherty is a fallback option for the Orioles if they fail to re-sign Corbin Burns, which, of course, they didn't sign Corbin Burns. He went to the D-backs. Baltimore is, going to be an option for Jack Flaherty, along with the Giants, the Blue Jays, the Tigers, and the Cubs. And, of course, Jack Flaherty had a pretty good season with the Tigers last year, so you can't rule out a reunion with the Tigers, especially with the Tigers kind of leaving the rebuilding phase now, making the playoffs last year. Skubal and Flaherty could be paired together. But looking at this list, I mean, you got the Giants, which you hope the Giants don't sign Flaherty, because that would be obviously not something good. You don't want to see him in your division. Blue Jays, Tigers, Cubs, don't really worry too much about the Cubs, but you prefer to see him with the Blue Jays and the Tigers in the American League. You don't want to see Flaherty go to the NL West. A little surprised the Yankees are no longer on this list. As we know, earlier on, the Yankees were a team that were interested in Jack Flaherty. It seems like maybe they have moved on from him. But that just confirms the fact that the Dodgers are moving on from Jack Flaherty, right? Their eyes are focused on Roki Sasaki at this time, and Jack Flaherty is basically out the door. Kind of like how the Dodgers were focused on signing Blake Snell, and then Walker Buehler was out the door. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we see Jack Flaherty in Dodger blue next year? I would be very shocked to see him wearing Dodger blue. And basically, I think we would see him wearing Dodger blue if the Dodgers fail to sign Roki Sasaki. So we'll have to wait and see the next couple of weeks, because that's going to determine a lot whether we see Flaherty or not next year. As always, make sure to subscribe, and let's go Dodgers. Woo!